Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University.
Hello students, I Dr. Shivang Patel, Associate Professor at School of Computer Science, Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University, welcome you all from Chaitanya Studio of Babasaheb Ambedkar Open University. In the lecture series of MCA program subject MCA-104 operating system, we have started Block 3 Introduction to Linux and Unix operating system, in which we have completed 2 units, Unit 1 and 2. We have just started Unit 3 and seen few of the commands that are general purpose utility commands. Now in today's session we are continuing with few more commands of general purpose utilities of Unix or Linux operating system. So we have seen in our previous session, these are the commands: clear, echo, bc, script and history. These commands we have to see in as a general purpose utility command. In the previous session we have seen clear and the echo command. Just revise these commands. Clear command, that is basically used to clear the screen or whatever the contents on the terminal you want to remove those content. In that case you are using this clear command. In other operating system you already aware with the command cls, and this command never take any argument. Second command that we have discussed, that is echo command. If you want to print some message or some string on the screen, or suppose you want to display some message in whenever you are executing shell programming on the screen, or you want to redirect that message into the file system, in that case you are using this echo command. We have also seen some of the options with this echo command. We have seen E option, we have seen \b /n/v/t, all these options that we have seen. We have already seen bc command, that is used for basic calculator, some basic arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, some increment operation, some decrement operation. All these can be done with the help of bc command. This command can be used with some other command like echo command with pipeline option. So if you want to add some mathematical library or some mathematical functions, in that case you are using L option with the bc command, that we have discussed in the previous session, right? We have already discussed to convert numbers from one number system to another number system, say for example decimal to binary, binary to decimal, or decimal to octal or hexadecimal. All these conversion that we have seen in this previous session. So we are using O base and the I base. Now we are starting with the today's session. Few more commands with file related or directory related general purpose commands. We are seeing with this next command, that is script command. Now script command basically used to record whatever the terminal activities or whatever the commands that you are executing, right? So say for example, what is the utility or what is the use of this script command? So if you are executing multiple commands or the sequence of commands, or if you are installing some of the program, in that case whatever the steps you want to record, in that case you have to use this script command. So script command is basically used to record whatever the activities that can be performed by the user on the terminal screen, right? So by default terminal information is saved in the file TypeScript. So where these information or where these recorded activities that can be stored. So whenever you are using this clear command without any argument, that means you are not passing any of the file name. In that case the default file name, that is TypeScript. So these all activities that are recorded in the file called TypeScript. But in the case suppose you are adding or you are inserting some file name, in that case that file name contains all these current activity or all the recorded activities. Now you can see script command is mostly used when we want to capture the output of the command or a set of command while installing some of the program, or you can say that you want to store some log. As you already aware, the term log, that means whatever the activities that can be stored or recorded into some file, that is considering as the log file. So if you want to generate log file that will store all the activities that can be performed by the user, you are requiring this script command, right. Now script command basically that can take two arguments. One is that can store the timing information, that means when you are writing some command, whenever that command will be executed. After executing one command, whenever you are entering some command, another command, so whatever the time in between these two commands, or whatever the time elapsed while executing particular command, so all the time related activities or whatever the time stamp, you can say that, that can be stored by the script command. And the second thing, whatever the commands or whatever the activities done by the user, all those that can be stored. So you can say that basically two options that you can use, in which one option that represent the file name, and that file name that stores all the timestamps, and the second argument you can say that that is another file name that can store the record of all the commands that you can execute. So we will see practically how this script command that can be used. So you can see on your screen, first of all the prompt will happen. You can check with the ls command. These are the directories and files currently available in our current directory. Now suppose you are using script command and you are not passing any of the file name. So by default all the activities that can be stored in the file called TypeScript. This file is automatically created, and whatever the activities done by you, that can be stored here. Now whenever I am pressing the enter key, the message will be displayed, that is script started, output log file is TypeScript. What it means? Now whatever the commands that you are writing here, all are stored, all the records or all sessions that will be stored in the file called TypeScript, because you have not mentioned the file name here. Now suppose I am executing some of the commands, say for example date command, that is my first command, then after I am using ls command, then I am using ls-l command. You can observe here in the ls command one new file is automatically created, and that is the TypeScript. Now suppose I am executing who command, then after I am executing pwd command. So which command we have executed? After executing script command, ls command, then after ls minus l option, then after who command, then pwd. Now suppose you want to exit that from this TypeScript, you have to write exit command. In some of the other system the command may differ, so accordingly you have to exit from the TypeScript. Whenever you are writing this exit command, you can see the message script done. That means all the commands that are stored in the particular script, the name that is TypeScript. Now you can see here with the help of ls command the new file that is generated TypeScript. Now how you can see the content of this file? As we already aware, the cat command that can be used to create file as well as to see the contents of the file, as well as to append the content to existing file. So you can see the content by using TypeScript, that is the name. Now observe the output one by one. Whenever I am executing this cat TypeScript command, in that case whatever the command I have executed, first command is date command, then ls command, then ls with l option, then who command, then pwd, all the commands that are recorded in TypeScript. So I think you already clear with this command, that is TypeScript, that can be used to store the session, that can be used to store all the commands that can be performed by the user in the TypeScript, right. Now suppose we want to store or we want to record all the commands in some particular file name. So in that case we have to give the file name. If you are not giving the file name, the default file name is TypeScript, but suppose you want to give that file name all the commands that are stored in that particular file name. So I am clearing the screen by using clear command, and then after again I am execute script command. Before we have seen that script command we have used without argument. Now we are using some file name, say for example log.txt. So this file is not there, it is automatically created when this command will be executed, and then after whatever the commands I am entering here or executing here, all are stored in that particular log.txt. By pressing enter, the script will start. Now whatever the command you want to enter, you can write here date command, ls command, say for example mkdir. Then after I am creating one directory dir3 here, I am creating one more directory dir4. Then after I can check with the help of ls command. So directories are created. I am creating one file, say for example file2.txt. I am entering some of the contents. This is a demo of script command. Then after, to save that file, I am pressing Ctrl D. Now you can check the content, cat file 2.txt. Now suppose I would like to exit from this script command. So I am writing here exit command. So now I can move out from this script command, and whatever the activities done by me, all are stored in particular file. The name is log.txt. Now I can check the content with the help of cat command, log.txt. You can observe here whatever the sequence of commands that I have executed, all are recorded here. So script utility is that all the commands or all the activities that can be recorded in some specific file. You can observe on the screen date command, then after ls command we have created two directories, then after we have checked with the ls command, then after we have created one file, then after we have checked the content, then after we have used exit command. So all these things that can be stored in particular file called log.txt. Now observe one thing here, whatever the commands I am executing, so that commands as well as the output both are stored in this log.txt file, or if I am not giving log.txt, in that case TypeScript file that will store all those activities. So in some case, suppose some of the commands are not available on your terminal, or some typing mistakes will be there, all the activities that can be stored, right. So you can say that whether you can right or wrong, you are entering right command or wrong command, all the activities, all the key press that done by the user, that can be stored by using the script command, right. So you can see in our presentation, now the syntax that we have discussed, script, then after options and the file. Options are optional, it is not mandatory. Here we have seen script log.txt, that you have entering that file name. If you are not entering the file name, the default file name is TypeScript. So the output that can be written in log.txt, that we have already seen. Now the next utility of this script command, that is replay a Linux terminal session. Now what it means? So we have seen whenever you are executing script command, it will store all the activities done by the user, or all the commands that can be executed by the user, both the commands as well as the output in the particular file. Now suppose you are requiring that whatever the commands that you are giving, or whatever the activities done by the user, exactly with the same timestamp or the same time delay you want to see. In that case, you have to store all these activities in the form of videos. So whenever you are storing all these activities and you want to display all these in the form of video in the sense all the activities that can be executed by some timestamp, or you can say that the time elapsed. Say for example, you are entering one command pwd, then after you pause yourself for 5 or 6 seconds or 10 seconds, then after you are executing some another command, say for example date command, then after you are executing cat command and you are creating some file, then after you are pausing some time, few seconds, then after again you are executing some command, and then after you are exit from this script command, right. So whenever you are pausing yourself, these can be also recorded, right. So as we have mentioned, script command that can be used with two arguments, in which first file name that stores all the timestamps or all the time related records that can be stored in that file, and another file that can store all the commands or all the activities that can be executed by you. So we will see one by one how you can record all the commands and how you can play in the form of video by using that skip replay command. So the only difference in script replay command, that can be display just illusion like the video. Why? Because all the activities that can be played with some time interval as you have already recorded, right. So you can see on the Plex screen, just clear the screen, again executing the script command. Here I am entering the two file names, one file name that can store the time information or whatever the time information by using the option called timing, then after equal to and whatever the time file name, I am giving the name time underscore file, then after space and then after the log file. So you can observe here two file names are there, one is time file, one is log file. In time file, all the time related activities or timestamp or whatever the time required to execute the command or whatever the time delays, all are stored here, and the commands entered by the user that can be stored in log file. So now my script is started. I can start with the first command date, then after pwd, then after ls, then after ls minus l, that is long listing of file. Now I am exiting my script. You can check with the help of ls command. See, two files are created, log file and time file. Now I can check the content of log file. So you can observe here the commands that we have executed, date, pwd, ls, ls minus l, these are recorded in log file, and the last line you can see it will display the timestamp where this script command will be executed. Now all the timestamps you want to see, you can check with our time file, that is time underscore file. So you can observe here these are the two column output in which it will store whatever the activity is done at which time interval, and to perform or executing that particular command how much time that can be required. So all these records that can be stored in that time file. But remember one thing, if you want to records all this time related information, you are requiring to give the option called timing option, right. So we have done these two options, timing equal to whatever the file name that can store the time information, and then after the log file that can store whatever the commands. Now how you can replay? As we have discussed, if you want to replay as it is, that means suppose you are pausing for few seconds, so it will play and show you when you have paused your activities, right. So it is in the form of video. In that case you have to use the script replay command. So you can see here in the command you can use script replay. You can play back or replay whatever the recorded terminal sessions. For that you have to save your file with the timing option that we have already discussed. Now to replay you are requiring that script replay command. So we can see script replay, then after timing, file record time, that is your first file name in which you are storing the time related data, and second file in which whatever your commands that can be stored. So, we are just seeing with the practical. First clear the screen, just checked the file. I am again showing you output in the log file. These are the commands that we have used in the script. Now you want to replay, so you can use script replay command. You are entering two arguments. First argument, that is the file name in which all the time related information that can be used. We have stored all information in time file, and second file that can store whatever the commands that we are using here, that is log file. After pressing enter, you can see here all the activities that can be done by us, that can be displayed or played one by one with the same time pause or timestamp that we have recorded at script command. You can see first date will be executed, then after PWD, one by one all the output you can see, all the commands. Right now I am not pressing any of the key. This session you can see live in the form of video, because script replay command that can be play whatever your activity with the same timestamp or the same time pause done by the user. You can observe here. According to the system configuration, the time speed that can be differ. Now we are just moving with our presentation till our terminal can execute or display that particular file. Now the next command, that is history command. Now history command that can be used to store whatever the previous command history. So storing only the commands that can be used. Now what is the syntax? You can use history command with few options. Now move here in the terminal screen. You can see here all those commands that we have applied that can be played here. Now I am using history command. Press enter. So whatever the history currently recorded in the terminal, that will be displayed here. Now suppose I would like to remove the history, I can use history command with C option. So it will clear all the history. Now I am pressing history command again. So here two commands that will be displayed, that is clear and the history. Now history will starts recording whatever the commands that you are using, all commands are stored here. But whenever you are showing with the help of history command, it will show you only the command name, not the output. While in the case of script command, you can see input as well as output both. Now suppose I am entering date command, press enter, PWD, ls command. Now show with the help of history command. So you can see all those commands that we have used, that can be listed in form of column. Before each and every column, there is one number that represent or identify that particular command, right? So here you can see that these are the list of commands that we have seen, and all are recorded with the help of history command. You can observe here only commands that are displayed, not the output, right? Now which are the options that are available, we can see here. First is C. Now C option, that is used for deleting all the histories. If you want to clear the history, you can use C option. Then after D option, if you want to erase specific history, in that case you are using D option. In that case you have to mention the particular history number, command name. So say for example, on your screen, suppose you want to remove the history date. Now the date command, it is at which position? So it is at the third position. So you can write here history command, then after use that D, and then after use that particular number. So I am pressing 3 number, so that history that can be deleted, only that command. How you can check? By using history command. You can see here previously at the third position date command is there. Now it will change PWD. That means what? You have removed that specific command from the list. So D option that can be used for specific command you want to remove from the history. C option that is used to clear the overall history, right? The W option that can be used for current history, whatever the current history, and you want to add whatever the new commands into that. So it will append your commands with the previous commands that you have done in your current session. Then after A, that is appends. Now what is the difference between W and A? So whenever you are using W option, whatever the current session you are using, that will be updated or that will be modified. Once you are exit from the terminal, and then after you are again moving to that particular terminal or again login into that terminal, that information cannot be appended in the W. But if you are using A option, it will store your session data also. So once you are exiting the terminal, once you are exiting your command prompt, and then after you are again logged in that case your data of your previous session that can be also stored in the history command with the help of this A option. Another is that is exclamation mark and then after the end command. That means if you want to rerun or re-execute that particular command from the list of command, in that case you can use here that. See for example, in our history 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 7, first command is clear, second is history, third is PWD. Now suppose I would like to execute that PWD from that history list, I can use exclamation mark and then after the number, that is 3. So here you can see the PWD command that can be automatically executed from the list of history, right? So we have seen these are the different options C, D, W, A and exclamation mark and N option. So now we are concluding this session. From next session we are just moving with few other Unix or Linux based commands. Till then, thank you.